A High Court Judge, Justice Lady Osei-Marfo, wants an amendment to the Minerals and Mining Act to go after chiefs and farmers who give out their lands to illegal miners. The judge, in her remark in court on Tuesday during the trial of Aisha Huang, said it is not enough to prosecute only illegal miners. The galamsey kingpin has been jailed 4.5 years, in addition to a 48,000 Ghana cedis fine. Her ladyship, Lady Osei-Marfo, said prosecuting chiefs who give out lands to illegal miners will help win the fight against galamsey. James Aveji has a wrap from what happened yesterday in court.
Aisha Huang, a month ago, pleaded not guilty to 3 counts, including illegal mining, facilitating the participation of persons in galamsey, and illegally employing foreigners, except the 4th count on illegally entering Ghana, which she pleaded guilty to. She was handed a 3,000 penalty unit and a 4.5-year prison term for illegal mining and facilitating galamsey. Again, Justice Lydia Osei-Marfo also handed her a 12-month prison term for illegally employing foreigners and a 1,000 penalty unit and a 3-year prison term for re-entering Ghana without legal travel document. All sentences are to run concurrently, which means Aisha Huang will spend 4.5 years in jail and pay the fine in addition. Right after Justice Lydia Osei-Marfo read her judgment, counsel for the accused, Miracle Atachi, rose to his feet and prayed the court to consider the accused on the basis that she has complied with the court and security officials since her arrest late last year. He said sentencing her would only put a financial burden on the state. He pleaded with the judge to fine and repatriate her. But Director of Public Prosecutions Yvonne Atakra Obuobisa argued against his plea. She wants her ladyship to impose a maximum jail term plus a fine on the accused. Justice Lydia Osei-Marfo, in her remarks, noted that considering all evidence provided by prosecution, she is left with no doubt that Aisha Huang's actions have been detrimental to the environment and have deprived many of their livelihood. She said the accused has taken the country's hospitality for granted. Justice Osei-Marfo also added that security officials did not do due diligence in granting her papers upon her second return. In view of these, the judge wants the state to go after chiefs and other landowners who give out their land to illegal miners. Aisha Huang will serve the next 4.5 years in prison and pay some 48,000 Ghana cedis to the state in fine. Deputy Attorney General Alfred Yeboah says he is satisfied with the conviction.
Yes, we are satisfied. You know, this offense was committed before 2019, that was between 2015 and 2017, and the law then was that the maximum sentence should be 5 years. So having been in custody for over 12 months, based on a constitutional provision on which imposes a duty on the judge to consider the number of years a person has spent in custody, we think that 4 years, 6 months is reasonable in the circumstance. She's someone that has gotten her name in the media a lot. Today, she's come to the end of the road. We're able to successfully prosecute her. She's going to spend 4 years, 6 months in custody. It should be a lesson to the others that you may be engaging in illegal mining, but when your time comes, the law will deal with you in accordance with what we've had. So it's a fight that we have not won. It's a fight that is a continuous one. As I just said, we all need to take part in the fight. Aisha is going today. The next time we come to court, if others have committed similar offenses, they also have their day in court. But let me also make this appeal to the public. This fight is not a fight of the Attorney General. This fight is not a fight of the police service. It is our fight. If you have any evidence to the effect that an individual, group of individuals, or an entity is engaged in illegal mining, don't sit in your house. Offer that evidence to the security agency so that we can follow up and then prosecute them as we've done in this particular case.
I mean, would the state be able to ensure that she's deported? We know she has had issues going out and coming back into the country.
After her sentence, if she's able to serve her sentence, she will be deported in accordance with law.
James Aveji's report for Joy.
The National Association of Small-Scale Miners is recommending to government to consider a local community enforcement approach instead of the centralized national approach. According to the General Secretary of the Miners Association, Godwin Ama, the current national approach has failed to yield positive results. He was speaking at the National Dialogue on Illegal Mining.
But we think that community enforcement approach is going to work. If we want to, we shouldn't look at it from the national level, but we should look at it from the base, from the communities. Mining activity or illegal operation takes place in the communities. So if we are able to have what we call the community enforcement approach, where we have selected individuals from the community and the traditional leaders to be part, then Minerals Commission will let them know the small-scale miners or mining companies that have been issued with license to work within their jurisdiction. Anyone who comes there who is not part of that list should not be allowed to work. We did a pilot and realized that it's working. So this is something that we need to upscale it. That one is not waiting for the central government to come. And these communities are linked to the district mining committees. So we work with the district mining committees. Then at the end of the day, we get these things done. When it comes to of chemical use, we are working with the University of Mines. We've done a lot of sensitization through the ASM radio school, that is small scale, doing a lot of advocacy, sensitization, and the UMAT came up with what we call the retorts. These retorts, when you have your mercury, you melt them in the retorts, and then you don't do open burning. But it's still not upscaled. The university need funds to upscale it.
Senior research fellow and lecturer at the Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies of the University of Ghana, Dr. Bob Mantel, indicates that following the failure of political class to fight the menace, a citizens' movement, especially the middle class, is needed to push the agenda.
Should take responsibility, and taking responsibility means holding our leaders accountable. You know, we shouldn't just leave them. We have to be there front and center, advocating for changes, making sure that we are naming people and advocating for their arrest and prosecution. If we, the people, are quiet, especially the middle class, if we are quiet, this thing will never stop. Some of this conversation, this dialogue should continue. As somebody said, we need to move it away from just being an English elitist kind of conversation. We need to go down to people languages in local places. It is a way of sensitizing, it's a way of creating awareness, it's a way of breaking down the complexities so people understand. We need to humanize the galamsey problem. It has become a political and economic problem for too long. We need to show the health implications, the water implications, all the things that are surrounding are coming up as impacts should be showcased in local communities, and that is where we can make progress.
On the need to amend the law, the Deputy Attorney General Alfred Chayabua says he will work with the Lands Commission regarding the allocation of lands. He spoke on PM Express.
But you may have to get it. That's why she made this kind of recommendation, that the law must be amended specifically to cater for that one.
Okay, so in other words, the law must be amended to say if you give your land out to illegal miners, then you are also liable to be prosecuted under the amended act.
Exactly. And now, fortunately for us, we use the landowners. The only problem is that if you have such a law, the owners will not come up to give evidence.
Need somebody to testify against somebody.
So in this particular case, six of them.
Deal, yes, of course, you can always do a plea.
Yes,
yeah,
that's it. So if you have such a law, it's a matter of just bargaining with them, using them as accomplice witnesses to prosecute.
In some respect, it will actually help you get people to testify, because if they know you caught them and you say, I'm going to plea, do a plea bargaining with you. If you do this, you're possibly going to get a reduced sentence or some sort of.
I think so. So that can help you. Yes, the judge made that.
Because now you have to convince them. They have to be of good, just love this country to just want to come forward, right? But this one can actually help you to force them to do so.
I agree with you on that.
So is it something that you embrace?
We embrace it.
That are we going to see an amendment to the law because of the judge's suggestion?
We need to discuss it. Ali, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, they are the ministry responsible for all this. So they may also look at the law. We need to.
But the AG's department, you are for this. You are for amendment to also make the giving out of land for galamsey.
Exactly. If you give out your land, because now we see cocoa farmers giving out their lands. You tell them they are so bold to come on set and say, yes, that's my cocoa farm. I remember watching the video.
True.
Yes, that's
absolutely.
my cocoa farm.
Many
That's my
times,
farm. I sell it, and so what? So we may have to look at that stage and perhaps bring it into our law so that if you give your land out to anybody to do illegal mining, if it's legal mining, you don't have the kind of right to give land to any apart from the government when it comes to mining. But people do it, and then eventually people go in and do illegal mining.